everybody, Phil Graham here, and in this video I'm going to share 3 common Facebook ad mistakes many people make, including some professionals. So a lot of people think Facebook ads don't work, and that's just false. They work extremely well. In fact, it's probably the best way to market right now in today's day and age. But most people do them wrong, and then they say they don't work. Well, if you do them right, rest assured they work extremely well. So let's jump into the 3 mistakes. I've got about 50 mistakes that people make, but I can't do them all in this video, so stay tuned for the rest. But let's talk about 3 today. Mistake number 1, audience targeting. So a lot of people make this mistake, including a lot of pros. What most people do is they target way too broad of an audience. They target, like, for example, entrepreneurs ages 25 to 60. That is way too broad of an audience. You're just asking and begging to lose money when you target that broad of an audience. You should be targeting very segmented audiences. See, when you target broad, you're going to lose a lot of money because so much of that audience doesn't care what you have to sell them or help them with. It's way too broad. And even the ones that do care, you're not going to know who it is because you can't identify it. It's way too broad of an audience. When you segment your audiences, and you can segment by age, by gender, by location, by interests, and you can even, combine different segments. When you segment, you can spend a little bit of money segmenting to find out who's responding the best to your ads based on data, not guessing. And then the ones that are responding best, you scale those up and make a lot of money doing it. And the ones that aren't working, you either get rid of it or you tweak it until you have it working really well, and then you scale those up too. It works extremely well. You can't market to a 22-year-old the same way as you would a 57-year-old in most cases. Those are 2 totally different people. And people have different interests and different motivations. And there's a lot of different ways you can segment. It's going to depend on what your product and service is and who your audience is in terms of exactly how you should segment. Just don't make the mistake of marketing to a way too broad audience. That doesn't work. You lose a lot of money. Get very segmented, very tightly focused so you can see what works and then scale what does and get rid of the rest. Okay, mistake number 2, the Facebook Pixel. So there's 2 things with the Pixel. A lot of people don't have it installed, and some people who do have it installed don't use it right and don't really know or use the power of the Pixel, I call it. It's so powerful. In some cases, it's even better than an email list. Now, yes, you should, of course, always have an email list as well, but the Pixel is crazy powerful. This thing right here, this phone, is like the new TV. Everybody's always on their phone. They're always on social media, including Facebook. And when you have your Pixel installed, you're able to communicate and follow up with your audience based on actions they take or not take, they don't take, on your website. It's amazingly powerful. So for example, you could communicate with your audience based on actions they take on your website. Let's say somebody visited your shopping cart page, but they didn't make a purchase. You could communicate with them. Let's say somebody went to a blog post of yours and stayed for a minute and then left. You could communicate with them, and you would communicate with those 2 examples very differently if you want to succeed. Yet what most people do is, if they're doing it at all, they communicate with one ad or one type of ad to everybody, and that doesn't work. So the things you can do with a Facebook Pixel are super powerful. Check that out, learn more about it, and get your Pixel installed if you don't have it installed. Now, it used to be really hard to install, but now it's easy. And if you're installing it on a WordPress blog, you can even do it without a plugin, which is great. Now, we're a done-for-you Facebook ad agency, so if you want us to do it, if you don't want to do it, we can do it for you. But if you want to do it for yourself, I've actually got a video, step-by-step, showing you exactly how to install it yourself using Google Tag Manager, which I highly recommend. Literally, you can have it up and running in like 5 minutes. It's super easy. So I'll link up to that video, and you can watch it and get your Pixel installed if you don't already have it installed, and you can get going right away. Now, even if you don't plan on doing Facebook ads for a while, you should get that Pixel installed immediately so you can start gathering data. So when you are ready to communicate with your audience, it's ready to go. If you do have your pixel installed, make sure you're starting to communicate with your audience based on those actions they take on your website. You will be amazed at how well it works. Okay, last but not least, number 3, using YouTube videos on your landing page. This is a big mistake. It's a really bad mistake, and a lot of professionals make this mistake. Now, here's why it's bad, and we have tested this with data over and over and over again. And here's what happens. You have a Facebook ad, and they click over onto your site. Doesn't matter if they're coming to a landing page, an opt-in page, a video page, or even if you're sending them to a blog post with a video. They click on your video, which we want them to do. We want them to watch your video, of course. And here's what happens. When it's a YouTube video, they can tell it's a YouTube video, and they click on that little YouTube logo or the title at the top a lot of times and start watching your video on YouTube instead. And then when they do, guess what? 5 seconds later, they're seeing funny cat videos on the side. They start getting distracted, and 10 seconds later, they're watching cats and flying monkeys all over YouTube. And guess what? You paid to get them there. You paid with your ad to get them to your site, but because of what you did, embedding that YouTube video, they're now watching cats, and they've long forgotten about your message. That is a recipe for failure. Now, I love YouTube. You should definitely do YouTube videos, but keep them on YouTube. For your website, you could use Wistia, Vimeo Pro, or Amazon S3, or some other method. There's lots of options to put video on your website. When you do this, and you do it right, you will be amazed at how well Facebook ads work. So make sure you're not making these 3 mistakes. Stay tuned for a lot more in the near future, and let me know if you have any questions about Facebook ads. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.